Okay, as we enter a whole new trading session this Thursday, let's take a look at how the US markets performed overnight. Now, the Dow actually posted its best day yesterday since mid-July. The US market absolutely blasted. The Dow was up 454 points or 1.59% during Wednesday's session. Now, if you think it was just limited to the Dow, you are definitely mistaken. The S&P and NASDAQ as well both continued to launch fresh lifetime highs on both those indices. The S&P was up 1.54% again, so mirroring the Dow, and then the NASDAQ was up 1%. Now, what particularly stood out to me is that for a change, Apple and Tesla didn't perform, but your NASDAQ was still up 1%. Semiconductor stocks, that's what really led the charge. Nvidia, Intel rose 3.8 and 2.8% respectively. So those are big gains seen for those guys. And then also the VanEck Vectors Semiconductors ETF also rose a solid 2.6%. Apart from this, you also had some material stocks like DuPoint popping 5%, Telecom, Verizon popping 2.3%, Alaskan Air also climbing 3.3%. So some aviation stocks in there as well. And your typical Apple and Tesla did not perform yesterday. Tesla actually fell 5.8% on the back of that share sale news. And then Apple just corrected 2% on the back of a tremendous rally, which we've seen. So the US market definitely looks unstoppable right now. And while everyone's primed for this correction, it just doesn't seem to be coming. Now let's go down to Asia. Asia obviously responded to this US handover very positively. So we currently have the Nikkei up 1.35% in early trade. We have fast retailing shares jumping more than 2.5% there to lead that charge. Then we have Topix index in Japan also gaining 0.96%. The Kospi is up 0.9%, so that's in South Korea. Australia finally also rebounding smartly. That economy has entered recession officially, but the stock index is 0.9% higher. That's the S&P ASX 200. So that's also doing fairly well. The MSCI index Asia is up this morning 0.2%. And the only blip that could potentially arise, there's some economic data expected from Australia around 9:30 a.m. We're going to look at the trade data for Australia specifically. Now, European stocks on the back of this strong handover the previous day as well, they also have rallied. The Pan-European Stock 600 was up 1.6%, and all your sectors and major bourses here ended in positive territory. So equity markets, looks like over here the SGX Nifty is definitely going to open with a positive bias. Now, whether it's able to hold that or not is a different matter, but based on the kind of rally we've seen in US markets, I'd be very surprised if the Nifty opens here in the red. Now, two quick commodity checks as we always do, oil and gold. Oil prices fell 2% last night, Wednesday, because gasoline demand in the US based on latest collected data has actually fallen. So that's one contradictory data point which suggests that recovery may be taking a lot longer than we initially anticipated. Brent fell over $1 or 2.5% to $44 per barrel, and then WTI fell nearly 3% or $1.25 to $41.51 per barrel. Gold also fell yesterday 1.5% because the dollar firmed and they tend to move in opposite directions. So a strong rebound in US manufacturing sector has also been fueling the hopes of recovery, and that again has been hurting your gold outlook. So spot gold fell 1.6% yesterday to $1,939 per ounce, and then US gold futures settled down 1.7% at $1,944 per ounce.